You are watching Rebel Access. I'm your host, Evil Blonde, and tonight I am here at Impulse Music with the legendary Paul Chapman.
Boo.
So welcome.
Hello.
I've got some questions here for you. We'll start right off the bat. I know you've been in several different bands. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, from the beginning.
Yeah.
A
little summary here and there,
yeah,
you know.
All right. Well, basically it was local bands from about the age of 12 to 15. And then the local band thing kind of went to Germany because all the Liverpool bands that went to Germany in the 60s, early, like the Beatles and Jerry and the Pacemakers, did all the clubs in Hamburg and stuff. And whoever booked the bands in Germany must have moved the agency to South Wales, because where I come from, all the bands from South Wales ended up going to Germany. So we'd go over to Hamburg and spend like 3 months playing in a club, and you'd play maybe 7 nights a week and do 6 or 7 sets a night. And all the bands that would be around the area would be all the bands that were from Wales in Germany, so you'd see all your friends. And then I went back to Wales after almost a year of doing that. And with one of the other bands that was in Germany at the time, we're back in Wales, and I ended up going to a show in South Wales, and a band called Skid Row were playing.
Oh,
and
yes.
It wasn't the Skid Row that was the Sebastian Bach Skid Row. It was the Gary Moore, Brush Shields Skid Row, and I was actually a big fan of the band because I thought Gary was a terrific player. And I ended up jamming with Skid Row in the dressing room, and I left and went back and went to my club where I was at a residency, and about a month later I had a call through my cousin, who actually is my cousin is Dave Evans, who actually is the guy that plays guitar and has hit records and stuff. And they'd called Dave Evans to find out about his cousin that played guitar in South Wales that he didn't even know I played. And basically, they arrived at my house the next day, and I joined Skid Row. So I was with them for about 18 months. And while I was playing with Skid Row, we lived in London. I moved to London at that age. We had a residency at a famous club that's gone now called the Marquee. The old Marquee Club, great website. It's really good if you go to the old Marquee. It's fantastic. They have all the dates on there, and I can actually remember a lot of them from all 1971 or something like this. And apparently, Pete and Phil had just started UFO, and they'd seen me play at the Marquee. And I'd left Skid Row and went back to Wales, and then I was looking for a band, and I ended up joining UFO in 1973 through an ad in a music paper, and because of the Skid Row connection, and they'd seen me play in London, basically that's how I ended up in UFO the first time. It was a bit strange starting off because Michael they just finished Phenomenon, which was like the first Chrysalis album, and they were looking for a second guitar player, which was kind of weird for me because I'd been fronting a 3-piece for the last 18 months or 2 years. So we kind of split all the guitar stuff down the middle between 1973 and 74, and it was in between Phenomenon and Fawcett, and I never really made a record with them at that point. The only recordings that are out now are the BBC, you know, the Radio 1 kind of live shows and BBC stuff.
Right.
So that was the only documented stuff. Anyway, when I left UFO, which was kind of a bit of a funny thing at the time because we were just parted ways, I formed a band called Lone Starr, which we spent a lot of time putting together, and then we signed with CBS and did 2 albums. And as the second album was being pressed, ready for us to go on tour, I got a call from Pete Way saying that Michael had, well, they actually didn't know where Michael was. Apparently they went round to his apartment and looked through the letterbox, and all the furniture was gone.
Oh,
yeah, for the
surprising.
lights. Yeah, for the lights out tour. So basically what happened was I stepped in, and I was kind of in 2 bands at the same time. Lone Starr in Britain doing some things, and UFO in America. And then I went back to Lone Starr, and we did a gig at the Reading Festival in Lone Starr, and who should actually appear in my dressing room was Michael. I was like, where the hell have you been? You know, can you go back over and play with them again? So anyway, he did, and about a year later, I actually got a call from Pete again, and said that they were thinking about changing the whole thing, and would I move to LA and join UFO, which I did for 5 years, which went up to 1983. Then we kind of broke up for a while, and Phil went into his own UFO world. and Pete formed Wasted, and then I joined Wasted, and Pete and I basically did the Wasted thing till about 1987, and then I went back to Florida because I'd kind of had enough of the whole thing, and it was kind of going the same way with management and with the way that UFO went, when it was working to a point that you would be worked to death and you could never keep track of anything that was going on. You know, and it
That's
was
not good.
no, it wasn't. So I just said, I've had enough. So I went back, and a couple of years later I started playing. Well, actually I went home and just lied on the beach for a while and played guitar. And,
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was great. You bored real quick. Not right. And basically, I started playing with Pete again about 3 years ago, and that went whir. And now my kids have grown up, and everything's kind of in a way that I just want to go back out and play again. And we have a new thing. I have a new thing that I'm doing with a lot of people. Basically, Robin McCauley has helped me out with it. Used to play with Michael on a demo, and Johnny, my old drummer from Wasted, and I've got a lot of people interested. I mean, people have emailed me because of him. Over there, my talent scout, my little pit bull over there, he lets on to, as soon as he grabs hold of something, he just won't let go. So basically what I've got is about 500 emails off people from all these bands, which I really shouldn't say anything about right now, but it's very interesting.
We're open for top secret information.
Yeah, I know.
You can give it out to us. It's all right.
Yeah, but Brian Wheat said if he's not playing on this record, he's going to kill me. There are people like that. But anyway, the idea is, because I was kind of involved in doing something that I've been writing for a long time, and I've got a studio put together, and this is going really nice, and after the last fiasco that I did up around this area with Pete in Columbus, it was in Ohio, and I was like, I can't do this with him anymore. But it started a writing thing where you keep writing, and you turn on juices again, you go, this is really cool. So I got a new studio set up, and it was going, I was like, I like all this stuff, so I'm stacking all these ideas up like this, and all of a sudden, it was like, why didn't you do a bunch of UFO songs that you wrote with different people? Okay, and it's kind of, it's stemmed from that really is what happened. Anyway, it's almost, the first part of it is almost done. Okay, Eric Martin said he'd like to sing on it, on some of the stuff.
Yeah,
Jeff
see,
Pilson,
I knew you'd give us
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Jeff Pilson said he wouldn't mind being it. The guys from Raven are friends of mine. Joe Elliott said he might sing something on it. People like this, and all these people have been, Ripper, you were the one that found all these people.
Doogie White.
Yeah, Doogie White. Yeah, I have more singers than songs at the moment. And people, my buddies from Phil, my friend from Motorhead, the guitar player, and a lot of different people in different places. You know, and the more it seems to people find out about this, the more people seem to be emailing me going, I wouldn't mind doing one of these. Anyway, so we're kind of we're an impasse right now where something is almost complete and it needs to be done, which will be very shortly. And a part of the trip coming up, you know, with John was that we're going to kind of put our heads together and figure out the direction that this really has to take, you know, because it needs to be a little more organized and stuff in the past. And I really didn't like the way that the last Wasted and the stuff went, because, I mean, it's 2006, 5, 6?
6.
Right.
You're right.
And it was, it's, you know, things are run differently now.
Definitely.
And the people that are involved in the last Wasted thing, I mean, I'm not talking about the recent one, but the one with the Capitol Records deal and stuff like that. It was still being run like the 70s, and nobody had a clue what was going on with anything. And you know, why am I doing this? You know,
Yeah.
You know, you put everything into something, and you're playing better than ever, and it just seems to be like banging your head on the wall. Anyway, so that's what's happening.
That's frustrating. What do you think is your favorite UFO song to play? Ooh, now you're stumped.
Actually, my favorite UFO song to play that we played in UFO wasn't a UFO song. It was Cold Turkey. Well, and we're going to do it again. We used to do it when I was in the band with Michael. And it was like a 10-minute epic thing, which was really cool. And I just found, I don't even know where it came from, but I found a CD with Cold Turkey on it, and it's a really good recording. But no, there's loads. I mean, it depends on what. I mean, I used to really like playing Long Gone live. But when you play live and when you listen to stuff in the studio, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
Because live, you know, things kind of catch you differently, and when you have open-ended solos where you can just keep things going and going. So that's a tough one. I don't know. They change. They really do. I really don't have a favorite.
How many albums would you say you've contributed to musically over your career?
A couple of dozen, probably. The Skid Row, Lone Star stuff. I mean, in my studio, I got, and there's loads missing. I got about 35 CDs up, framed on the wall, with various things that's happened over the years. Things probably a lot of people don't know about.
Are you currently signed with anybody?
No, this is partly what this trip is about. We're going to go through a bunch of perspectives. A few people that I've talked to that are involved or want to be involved in this project have said that they could take it to labels that they're on. But I really want to do my homework on this. Actually, the label I really wanted to look at was Sanctuary, because a lot of my friends are on Sanctuary. But I'm really not sure about that right now. So I think I'll maybe come to look around first.
Right.
But no, to answer your question. Nope.
What could we look for in the future from you?
Hopefully, I'd really like to get out and get on the road. And,
Yeah.
and out of all these people, the ones I didn't mention, out of all these people, to find a nucleus of a band that could actually go out and play. I mean, Europe would probably be a really good starting point for us.
Definitely.
So it would have to be people that, I mean, a lot of these people are actually based in Europe. So, but it's availability and stuff like that. But I just want to create more. I had this whole thing going before the UFO resurgence of these 12 songs came up, and I'd like to get that out and do that. And
Okay.
I don't know, that's about it really. I just want to play more. I want to go out and play.
What advice would you like to give to aspiring musicians?
Give up. Get a real job. Go somewhere else.
Get out while you can.
Go to the Caribbean and run some little rowing boat. Take the tourists around. I don't know. No, you got to play. You got to practice and practice and practice. Listen to people that you have to listen to people that are good. No matter what you listen to, sooner or later it's going to come out and you're playing. So if you listen to crap, then you're going to end up playing. I mean, Dead Kennedys, here's a good one. Somebody came in, oh, listen to this Dead Kennedys record. I was like, what? I mean, but there you go. Not knocking another band, but if you listen to stuff like that, you're going to end up like. So basically, what you listen to is what you end up kind of playing in the long run. I think, to a point, anyway.
Is that like you are what you eat?
Yeah, only musically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of last words would you like to give to your Rebel Access fans who are going to be watching this interview?
Come and see us again. Buy the thing, it's really cool. The website has some very interesting question and answers. If you delve back in the question and answer stuff, it's told how it is. Don't listen to the UFO books. Martin Popoff's books his book is great, but it's not really. There's a lot of stuff glossed over in this. Okay, go to the question and answers and dig back about 2 or 3 years, and you you find some stuff in there that'll probably age you a little bit and turn your hair green. But I don't know. Just what was the question again?
Well, tell us the website.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Give us some information.
Yeah, PChapman.com. Yeah, that's it. So.
You're watching Rebel Access here tonight with your host, Evil Blonde. I'm
Evil
here
Blonde.
with Paul Chapman, and